If you're a bucket list or a selfie tourist, I don't want to waste your time. This video is not for you because I'm not going to talk about Kardungla's highest motorable road board or the magnetic hills or Gurudwara Badr Sahib. But on the other hand, if you are a traveler, well, let's talk about frozen rivers and untouched landscapes. In my opinion, when you travel to a destination is way more important than the destination itself. Let me show you an example. See, what you see here is Pangong in July, which obviously is the month most people visit Ladakh. Most of the time it is cloudy and sometimes it's rainy. But then, this is Pangong in winter. Between December and February. And then imagine you being the only person there. So, 5 reasons to travel to Ladakh in winter. There are not many places in this world that offer a chance to walk for kilometers on frozen water bodies. Ladakh in winter is one of the few places that do. When you're making a trip to Ladakh in winter, you literally are traveling to a realm of ice. Ice, not snow. There are many places that are drenched with huge blankets of snow, but ice is pretty rare, and it's hard to see water in Ladakh during Jan and Feb. Frozen rivers, lakes, waterfalls, and even pipelines. You get to see it all until you get bored of ice, and that's Ladakh during winter. Of all the places that hold ice, Ladakhi rivers and lakes are the ones that are reachable by a car. There are 2 reasons why people travel to Ladakh during winter. One is the Chadar trek, and the other one is the snow leopard photography expeditions. Nevertheless, apart from these 2, you can typically do the usual 6-day summer itinerary in winter. Now that both Khardungla and Changla have become all-weather roads, thanks to China, they are officially open for tourists most of the days, even during peak winter. See, when there is snowfall, maybe a day or 2 they are shut down, but otherwise they are open. So, which practically means both Nubra Valley and Pangong are now reachable in winter as well. You land in Leh, the small streams running in between the city is frozen. Travel a bit, a major part of Indus that flanks the NH1 to Srinagar will be largely frozen. Travel furthermore to Sangam, that is what you see here, where the Zanskar drains into the Indus. Even though you might not be into making a complete chadar for 4 to 6 days, you can get a hang of it by walking a few kilometers around Chilling, which is just about 30 kilometers from Sangam onto the Zanskar side, and the road is all metal. Ladakh has largely become a bucket list place in recent years, but for the ones who've been traveling there for a decade or more, it's all about landscapes and the people there. Ladakhi hospitality, it's something one needs to experience it to know it. See, they are one of the warmest people one could come across. During peak season, the problem is you get to see more tourists than the indigenous people, the natives there. So all the buzz, it's an outright distraction. But travel to Ladakh in winter, you can sink into their lifestyle when they are in no rush to cater to the needs of tourists and they are themselves. See, the thing is, the climate and the terrain in Ladakh is brutal in winter. But then when you see them as a happy bunch of people living in one of the most hostile niches, that's when you experience the real Ladakh. And most of the dal, chawal, roti, sabji joints are closed in winter, so you're left with momos and chow mains and homemade food. And yet again, that's when you feel a Ladakhi in Ladakh. Right now we are with Konchok and Tentop from Zanskar.
Gram pani, sir?
Yeah.
Gram pani bhi leke aata hu.
What's
This one
that
is a local dish we call chuteki. And for dinner, first we make it tarka. Yes, it's okay.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's like a pasta, like a pasta and
so
noodles.
this is like the Ladakhi version of pasta.
Yeah,
and
noodles,
it is cooked only in the western side of Ladakh, right?
Yes.
Not in the eastern side of Ladakh. You don't get this in Pangong or Moriri or the Changtang region.
Yes.
So you get it only around Lama Yuru, Sham Valley, Marka Valley.
Markavali, yes.
Yes. And parts of Zanskar.
Yes.
So what goes into this?
Oh yes, there's a onion, onion, mushroom, potatoes, and tomatoes. Yes,
Yeah.
that's all.
And then
some
the
spices
local atta.
and some spices.
Okay.
Yes,
So
that's all, and we make it fry.
Sir, garam pani.
And it's very simple to make. Yes.
take time to look into their lives closely. One understands how important it is to live as compared to surviving comfortably. I neither know to drive a car nor I intend to drive one anytime soon. I'm glad with two wheels and having traveled through the same roads and reached the same destinations both on a motorcycle and a bicycle, I've always seen more when I was pedaling. That's because of the simple fact that it was slow. See, compare going to a local restaurant or a park or any other place that you like in peak traffic amidst the crowd versus doing the same thing with not many people around. So I always feel the difference is huge when you visit the same place with the crowd and without the crowd. If the difference could be so dramatic to a place that we could visit often, imagine the difference with something as spectacular as Ladakh. So winter offers more of Ladakh than summer. Beyond that, winter eliminates the probability of coming across selfie freaks lying in the middle of the road, wannabe Shahrukhs and roadside Prabhudevas. See, if your sole purpose of visiting Ladakh is not social media likes, then winter offers the best of Ladakh in its most pristine and purest form with the people living there. In the last 15 years, Ladakh has moved from a self-sustained economy to a tourist-dependent economy. A lot of you know that almost every other guy you come across wants to make a trip to Ladakh. Both in India and in abroad, Ladakh has become some sort of a dream destination. As a result, almost every Ladakhi family has at least one member who is dependent upon tourism. See, it might appear that the Ladakhis are getting rich because of the boom in tourism. The truth is slightly different. See, the entire tourist season in Ladakh is only for 3 months, and you can add May and September as shoulder season where you get 30% of tourists. Apart from that, there is nothing much going on in Ladakh during the rest of the year, which means what tourism brings a family for 3 months has to be sustained for the other 9 months. More importantly, Ladakhis don't operate like software companies. They don't hire people just for the season and fire them when the job is done. So their sustainability depends upon sustained tourism throughout the year. That's exactly why people like me are promoting the off-season Ladakh. See, you get the best of Ladakh during the off-season, and by making a winter trip to Ladakh, you're supporting the community financially when they are almost running out of their reserves. Lacity in the last few years have joined the Hotel City Club along the lines of Manali and Shimla. There are already hundreds of hotels in Leh itself, and of course more are being built year on year. Yet, some days between June and August are completely sold out. Yes, people go from one hotel to another without finding an accommodation. So what happens when demand outweighs supply? Things obviously become expensive. But then, come winter, the hotels, they're still there. They don't disappear like the Swiss tents you find in Nubra and Pangong. During winter, the supply outweighs demand by a huge margin, and you get amazing properties at 2/3, or in most of the cases, at about half the price that they generally go in summer. And in winter, nowadays, most properties have heated rooms. If not all day long, at least during nights, the heaters are on. So winter Ladakh is always at least 1/3 cheaper than peak summer Ladakh. Similarly, you get great deals on transportation as well. See, for example, a Royal Enfield would cost you somewhere between 2,200 to 2,600 rupees per day in summer, but you can get a deal of about 1,500 for the same bike in winter. Well, riding in -16 is altogether a different story. We'll see that in the next video. Nevertheless, you get discounted rates on cars as well, similar to bikes. So, all in all, a winter Ladakh is likely to cost you at least 30% less than making the same trip in summer. So that's it for this week, and next week we'll see what are the 5 things to prepare for a winter Ladakh trip. So until then, travel safe, travel more. See you, buddy.